what we're looking for is to make fish for, your kids and your grandkids.
When you're saying that, you're talking about your work with Puget Sound Anglers.
Yes.
And all the advocacy, all the legislation of all the people that I know of. You've got decades and decades of experience and have made a huge difference for not just the Puget Sound, but anybody fishing for salmon.
Yeah, we're probably one of the biggest advocates, and we put our money where our mouth is. We push really hard. I mean, we work all the way through Department of Fish and Wildlife. We work through NOAA. We've stopped all the fishing closures in Washington State. You look at it, we're one of the only coastal states that doesn't have fishing closures, and we stopped every one of them.
Sure.
And Puget Sound, we stopped them, and it's by building long-term relationships with the right people makes all the difference in the world. So,
what are some of the recent successes you've had, Ron, for Puget Sound anglers and for salmon fishing opportunity?
Well, we blended in. We're not just Puget Sound anglers. I was on the Orca Task Force.
Okay.
And that was the governor's task force, and also working with the commission, WDFW commission, the previous commission we had. Butch Smith, a friend of mine out of El Waco, he works on the Pacific Fisheries Management Council, and several others, and we worked with the tribes, and we ended up together, we ended up getting our commission to give us an approval to make 50 million more Chinook in Washington State, and that's hatchery fish. So we got that, and then we had to take that into the Orca Task Force, and we took that in there, and we got that approved, and that was a big fight.
Yeah.
A lot of these organizations don't want the hatchery fish out there.
Sure.
So but we got that done, and that was huge because everybody benefits. And if you look at last year, Washington was the only place open on the coast for fishing for salmon. Oregon was closed, California was closed, BC was mostly closed, and Alaska was closed. Washington was open, and the reason is we put all these extra fish out there on the Columbia River and the Puget Sound, and we got them out there, and we had great ocean conditions, and those great ocean conditions cause bigger returns.
Sure.
And so it all comes together. But again, this year we're open where others are closed, or very limited, and it's working together, working with the tribes, working with everybody that's going to work with you.
It sounds like you've really built a community of anglers, of guys that care about sport fishing opportunity and salmon in the Northwest, and that community is what's making the change, making a difference.
Yeah, it's just educating people, because a lot of them don't understand how the system works, and they misunderstand a lot of things, and there's a lot of things to know, and I get way into the weeds, but there isn't time for it.
No. Well, if guys want to learn more about these issues, or about your group, and how to get involved or support your efforts, how do they do that?
You can go on Facebook or our Puget Sound Anglers.org. You can go on there. My personal chapters, Puget Sound or PSA Snow King.com, and then I'm on Facebook, Ron Garner. But this
you want those guys reaching out to you on Facebook?
I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. I mean, guys that don't like what I've done, when we have the conversation, half hour to an hour, they get it, and then they're on our side. Then all of a sudden they're advocates for us.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of bad information out there that, this is fisheries management, and it's not easy.
So you're open to the dialogue. So you're open to the dialogue and want to have conversations with people that care about these issues, and
explain it to them why we're doing what we're doing, and it's huge, and we're winning. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
We're still fishing. A lot of people aren't, but it takes a lot, and we've made good relationships all the way up to the top of the federal government. Funding, we got Cantwell's office to get $400 million for Washington, for our hatchery systems. On the Orca Task Force, we got $75 million to rebuild the hatcheries. These are things that we have to be the drivers. If you aren't driving this, it's not going to happen. You can't just sit back and hope it happens.
Right.
You got to take the bull by the horns, and you got to make it happen, and that's what we do.